Hello and welcome to the UTB Blogcast number 95. With us tonight are the usual suspects. We have Dave, Roy, Brad, and Wingo. Say hello, boys.
Hello, boys.
Hello, boys.
I'd say the unusual suspects, not the usual. We're a bit unusual.
No, you're definitely usually suspect.
I'm totally normal.
Okay, Now that the awkward intro is over, let's jump right in and talk about the rumored key one that we heard about this week.
So,
rumors.
I think Roy was the one that posted on our site, right? And he's giving the information from, it originated on Weibo, right, Roy?
Yeah, from Weibo and TCL Brazil manager, some executive from TCL Brazil.
Is that confirmed?
It was.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
Because I was really thinking it was more than likely the Indian.
It will
key
be
one.
also the Indian.
But that wouldn't have anything to do with TCL.
But the Indian key one's being made by Optimus,
right?
Not TCL.
Correct.
Yeah, but you have a TCL black key one for the Chinese and the Brazilian market. That's why we didn't say the Indian market, because this is Optimus.
Yeah, because the specs that are being given for this black key one are the specs that were rumored for the Indian key one, right? I just can't help but think there's some sort of mix-up between the information between these phones.
I think that both companies decided to make those devices.
Well, I wonder if TCL's black version then is going to have an increase in RAM, or they're just going to leave it alone.
The Chinese BlackBerry key one, the black key one, will be 64 gigas and 4 GB RAM.
Gigabytes?
Yeah,
Gigabyte storage. Of
onboard storage. We're trying to finish sentences for you.
From the screenshot from the Chinese site. But it wrote in Chinese, so nobody really knows. And Alex Turber just tweeted that he flying to India.
Oh, really? So we should be seeing an announcement soon, you think?
In a couple of days. It's a long trip from California to India.
Well, do you think this trip has to do with an announcement or just business as usual?
Oh no, there'll be something coming.
Yeah.
Don't say it, Dave.
So what do you think about the black version?
I think it looks great. Like it looks amazing. I really wish we would have got it in all black first, but I don't know. You know what I mean? The silver is more striking as far as people take notice of it.
Yeah.
Than I think they would in all black. Yeah. But I just love that all black look.
Yeah. Specs is what's sort of making me like it. You know, I just wish the original one had 4 gig of RAM and 64 gig onboard storage.
Yeah. At the same time, I wonder if it's really anything that we would notice, because I mean, so far in the time that I've had my key one, it's been nothing but smooth sailing, right? So I know that, you know, adding that extra gig would be more along the lines of future proofing, but I wonder if you would really see any performance improvements right now.
I don't know. I guess it depends on the use case. If you were, you know, if you were into games, which the key one may or may not be that kind of a phone that you would have bought that for. But just for argument's sake, if you were a gamer and you had, you know, that in the background and a bunch of other stuff, maybe you'd benefit from an additional gig of RAM. I don't know, but I'm not hearing any bad stories from owners about performance or switching between apps, at least for the most part anyway. You read a little bit about some people sniveling, but they might just have a problem as opposed to it being a lack of RAM.
For the most part, I've noticed it a lot smoother than the Priv. But there was one or two instances where I noticed it did lag. I think it might have been switching between apps or the hub or something like that, and it was only momentarily, and like what I used to get on the Priv, but there was a very slight lag in there just once or twice that I have noticed. But apart from that, yeah.
Because I honestly, I mean, I'll be honest, my Priv was starting to hiccup often, you know. And I got to the point of where it was just to make it easier on myself, I would restart pretty consistently just to clear everything out. And my Key 1 has just been smooth. Like, I haven't had any hiccups at all.
Yeah, like I said, it was only very minor. Nothing like what I was getting on the Priv, but yeah, it's definitely 100% better considering it's basically got the same amount of RAM in there as what the Priv has. And I can't even remember what it was I was doing at the time. I might have been changing a setting. And I think what also gives me the impression that it is lagging a little bit is the back key. I have noticed at times that can be a little insensitive. I noticed it first in BBM going out of chat. So if you're in a group or a chat and you want to go back to your main list of chats or something like that, you would have to tap it twice, because when you open a group or a chat, it automatically pops up the chat box with the cursor in it ready to start typing, which is a good thing, and it's something that BBM didn't do. And when you hit the back key the first time, it actually minimises that chat box, and then it takes another tap to get it to go back to your list of chats or go back to where you were previously. It took a little bit to sort of notice what it was actually doing and why it was taking so many taps. And I think the other thing that I noticed with it was I put a glass screen protector on it, and it's just a flat glass screen protector. But all the way around the edge, there's, and you know, it actually sits in from the side, probably 2 to 3 millimeters on each side, which you would think is enough to clear that radius and just sit on the flat part of the screen. But I think the screen's a lot more radius than what it appears, because with this glass screen protector on there, there's still, down the sides, there's another 3 millimeters where you can see an air gap underneath it. And down the bottom, it's probably closer to 4 millimeters, and it's about halfway up those navigation buttons. So with that air gap in there, I'm noticing I have to tap quite hard on any of those buttons to get them to react, or tap the top half of the button where the actual screen protector you can see is. I don't know if you can see it on there.
Yep.
But you'll notice down the side, you can see the gaps there, and down the bottom.
Yeah, that is a lot.
It is a lot, considering you can see down here, there's a 2 or 3 mil gap where the screen protector doesn't cover the radius of the screen. And then there's that grey line, which is basically like a big air bubble right up the side. So it seems that the screen has quite a big radius on it. And you know, while I like having the protection of the screen protector on there, I don't know whether I'm going to get annoyed with that after a while.
I'm already annoyed with it.
Tell.
Yeah, you took
look,
the words out of my mouth. You showed it to me, and I'm annoyed with it for you by proxy.
Yeah,
look, you don't notice it so much when the screen is on. Well, it is there a little bit. I did order a couple of the soft vinyl type screen protectors. I bought 3 of them, and they were $10 each. And I went down to the shopping centre, to the usual mobile phone kiosk down there where they do all my screen protectors because they do such a really good job in fitting them. And I supplied them because they simply don't carry anything at all for BlackBerry phones, cases, screen protectors, anything like that. So I always buy them. And these vinyl ones were quite expensive for a vinyl one because you usually pay $1, $2, something like that for the cheaper soft screen protectors. And these ones were $10. They were advertised as a new material that will follow the curves of the screen. And so I took one of those down with the key one and got the guy to fit it. And he turned around and basically said, "Oh, these screen protectors are junk. They don't stick." And I said, "Well, they were quite expensive. They were advertised as the latest material, really good quality ones." And he said, "No, look, they're rubbish. Go and get a glass one." Which I was quite annoyed because I'd spent $30 on 3 screen protectors for it. So I came home and wanted to try fitting one myself. And now I've never had any luck fitting soft screen protectors. I always manage to get air bubbles and fragments of dust under there. No matter how hard I clean them, I can never get them to sit right. But anyway, I had a go with this screen protector. And when you get them, they've got there's usually 3 layers to the screen protector. You've got a top protective layer and a bottom protective layer, and then naturally your screen protector in the middle. And you peel one off first, apply it to the phone, and then peel the top layer off. And one thing I noticed was when I went to apply it, it peeled off the top layer before it peeled off anything and left the bottom layer on. And by the time I realised what had actually happened and tried to get that bottom layer off, there was actually a sticky adhesive on the back of the screen protector. And by this time, I'd had my dirty fingerprints and everything all over it, and I put it on the phone, and it actually stuck quite well, fitted quite well, only it had air bubbles and fragments of dust and oily fingerprints and everything like that underneath it. So I basically ripped it off and ordered one of these glass screen protectors. But yeah, I'm not overly happy with it, to be honest. I think I'll end up pulling it off and going naked on the screen.
And this has been our episode of This Old Screen Protector, starring Lino.
Well, you know, something so simple can really cause you headaches.
Yeah, I think we've all got one now.
Figures you put yours on upside down.
Well, Brother Nil is saying that you need to do it in the shower.
Yes, I have tried that. No success there either.
I don't even want to go there. The jokes are abundant. Anyway, back to that black key one. I was kind of hoping it would come out first too, because then the one that everybody's using except for me could be the Key One SE.
Key One SE?
Yeah. Why not?
I was hoping for a Key One too.
The Key One also.
3-4.
You've got one.
You know, I think the good thing to come out of this, or that I took out of it, was if they're bringing out a black one, there's a possibility we might see other colours. Blue. I'd love to see a red one. I've seen the renders of the red one, and I've got the red passport, which is absolutely stunning. I'd like to see a couple of other colours come out.
Yeah, the renders that I saw, it's great to see those colors, but it's like I wish I had the skill to redesign them, because it's like that red one, it just looked kind of like a toy to me. It's like if they followed the design cues of the black passport and put like the black screen surround on it, the black frets, the black band, and then left everything else red, I think that would be one sexy phone. Because, I mean, the thing about the red passport, Wayno, it's not like the white passport, right? There's a lot of black on that phone. Well, you didn't have to leave. I'm sorry if I offended you. But I think the red is much nicer on the passport than any of the other colors because of those touches. Exactly.
Yeah, I think the black definitely breaks it up, having that black band around the outside, the black frets.
Yep.
I probably would have liked to have seen a black top. A red top on it.
See, I don't like it because do you have your white one there?
I do. Hang on, it's just in a box.
Next time we'll have them go grab something else on the other side of the house. Then we can.
Yeah.
Then we can talk about something besides screen protectors.
Can you go get me some Chinese food, man?
You know what? As you all know, I've got 4 passports. I've got one in every colour. The only colour I am missing, or was missing, is the gold version, and I managed to secure one of those during the week.
Are you getting it?
I'm getting it. I couldn't resist. Come on, it's a limited edition, one of 50. But there's the white one. And
hold those up next to each other. Tell me the red with the black isn't better looking than the white and all white.
Well, the white has still got
so
the silver frets. The white has still got the silver frets, and it's still got the silver surround all the way around it. But I think the black highlights it a bit more.
And look at hold them up and speak so we can see it. Look at the tops of the phones where you got the white top and the black top.
Yeah, so there's your white top on the white passport and the black top. So I think I'd like to see the red top. So much better
with the black. So much.
You do?
I do, because the screen just kind of takes up the whole space. I know when it's on, it's the same size, but when you're looking at it, the screen on the white one just looks smaller and more out of place. On the red one, it seems like it's just great looking.
I should be a bit embarrassed, and I hope Rico's not watching because there was a lot of dust on that red one. But yeah, I don't know. I quite like the white around the top. I think it kind of breaks up the screen. Yeah, it's all personal choice, I suppose, but I can't wait to get that gold one. Seriously, that's gorgeous.
I want a blue one.
Oh, 5 passports. What am I going to do with 5 passports?
Like I said, one for each finger.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't believe you're
getting back to the colours. Oh, come on. If anyone was going to get it, I was. But getting back to the colours, yeah, I think, like you said, that red one had red frets as well too, didn't it?
Yeah, it was all red.
Yeah,
in the render.
I think it needs the black in it just to break it up, or even silver frets. I think would look nice on that, and maybe a silver side. But the red and black does look good.
Welcome, Blackberry Brad. He's on mute, but I'm sure he said welcome.
What's going on, everybody?
Hey, welcome back.
I saw Wayno showing off his passports. I just got to save you guys from the screen protector stories and such.
Yeah, well, maybe next week you'll see the gold one that I've just got or just ordered. It's on its way. It's being shipped from the States.
Oh, I'll retrieve it for you if you want. I mean.
Hopefully it goes has a better trip than the D-Tech 60 that your seller shipped out to another one of us.
Me?
Who's shipping out D-Tech 60?
Oh, okay, yep.
Yeah, Rob sold one to Nick, and he it's supposed to go from here in the U.S. to Canada, and somehow it ended up in the UK, and then it was lost. and it took them quite a while to find it. And then I think they shipped it back to the U.S. I mean, it turned into like a multi-month experience for that D-Tech 60 to get just across the border. It went overseas first.
It took the long way, you know?
Well, it was going to British Columbia, and then it ended up in Britain. And then they sent it back, and I was just convinced it was going to end up in Colombia before it ever made it there.
Well, it went to the wrong British, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I kid you not, my dad, who's from the States, he was working up here for a lot of years. Anyway, he went down to the States, did some work down there, and some guy looks at him and says, "So where are you from?" And he says, "British Columbia." And with no joke, the guy says, "Boy, you sure talk good English."
Well, just remember, to most of us down here, Canada is an imaginary place. So
it is. It's an imaginary place. I'm a fig Newton of your homogenation.
Well, it's also a destined future home for many people here in the States. So,
or so they say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we won't bring
a whole lot of talk. Nobody showed up. I
know Alec Baldwin wasn't supposed to be here for years, and he's still here. He was supposed to move out when Bush got it, right?
So I heard you guys talk about this black Key 1, and
yeah,
I know I said this last night. If anybody watched my podcast last night, all three of you, I am absolutely in love with this color device. I'm hoping this starts a trend in the BlackBerry mobile world where let's make more colors, because like you guys have said, there's tons of good color devices out there, especially BlackBerry devices for that matter.
I want a blue one.
Yeah, although I'm afraid this was kind of like a last. If you guys read the BlackBerry Mobile Brazil CEO Perazzi, I forget his first name, but if you read his kind of comment, sounds like this was more of a last minute idea than it was to be pre-planned, because they're just running out of components and they're like, screw it, let's put more components, let's put different components in and try to make these devices differently. So I don't know if that means it's just a ditch in the dark or a shot in the dark for getting devices out in the field a little bit quicker, or I don't know, but hopefully it starts a good trend for TCL and BlackBerry Mobile with colors.
We don't need no stinking colors, man.
Yeah, that the quotes I saw, like you said, Brad, I kind of got that impression, like, hey, we need more components. We're out of these. So let's give it 4 gig now instead of 3. And that's exactly the same impression I got. And I wonder if that's the case.
Yeah, it's kind of late in the I don't know, the rollout process, I guess. It's weird with the Key 1 because it's not fully rolled out yet from what we're seeing. There's still tons of areas that haven't gotten, and apparently it's going to go over to India now. I know there's certain parts in the world like Spain and a lot of European countries don't have this device, and they're waiting for it. Half the U.S. carriers don't have it. All but one, actually, or only one of them have it here in the States.
And just got it today, I believe, right? It finally ended up in the retail locations today.
Yeah, it ended up in the retail locations today. You could have purchased it on Sprint.com, but who wants to buy a phone online anymore? I mean, Amazon, I guess, but yeah, I feel it's kind of late in the process, maybe, to start rolling out other colors than this black one. But then again, it's kind of hasn't been fully rolled out yet, so who knows where they are in this thought process.
Yeah,
I kind of hope they call it something different.
Well, it's supposed to go and be like a special edition.
Key 1.
Well, it's going to be the BlackBerry Key 1 special edition. That's what it's going to be called. Well,
is it?
That's a rumor.
There you go.
Well, that's what the Brazil CEO said, or Brazil BlackBerry Mobile CEO said.
Interesting that you brought up India, though. That's a completely different company.
Right.
Yeah, but what's his name?
Yeah, but
Alex put out a tweet today saying he's going over there for BlackBerry Mobile to launch something.
For BlackBerry Mobile? Is that what he said?
Or yeah, if you look at his latest tweet, he put something about going to India, and he tagged BlackBerry Mobile in it. So he's not going to tag BlackBerry Mobile in a tweet for something that another company is going to launch, I'm guessing.
BlackBerry Mobile India. Okay, what the heck is going on, man? I'm getting really confused here.
So I don't think it's just because we have this company in India that's also launching another BlackBerry licensed device. I think more it's they can launch it there, but BlackBerry Mobile still has full, ability to launch their device in the same area. I don't think it's a you can't launch your phone here concept. I don't think there's any.
You know what bugs me about that? I don't know. If my supplier, sold me a bunch of goods and I went out to sell them to the public, and then they decided to walk into my local turf and sell the product as well, I'm not convinced I'd be completely happy with that situation.
Yeah, but do you call those shots, or does BlackBerry call those shots?
Well, BlackBerry can do whatever they want. It's just that they have partnerships and they have dealers and whatnot, and you don't want to piss anybody off certainly at this stage of the game.
Yeah, but you also want to get as many devices out there with your name on it. And
of course, yeah. I'm not going to argue with wanting more.
BlackBerry has been dying to get device sales out, and all of a sudden the BlackBerry Q1's taken off like they've never seen a BlackBerry device before.
Exactly.
And now they want to get it everywhere they can possibly do. So they say, you know what, BlackBerry Mobile, go sell it here. Go and who cares who's selling what there? Go sell it. So I don't think the license agreement between BlackBerry Mobile and what's the India company? I keep forgetting their Optimus. Yeah. I don't think it's a region-based agreement. If they're selling Alex Thurber over to India to promote something for BlackBerry Mobile, there's no way it's a region-based agreement. Now, the Maraputa is probably a region-based because that device hasn't made it anywhere besides Indonesia. So, that's the only thing that threw me off a little bit today too. But, thinking from BlackBerry's standpoint, the owner of these hardware, license agreements, I would think makes perfect sense for me to get these devices in any possible places they can do. And from what we're hearing from Optimus, their device is just full touchscreen, right? They're kind of the rumors floating around the BlackBerry world.
Well, no. What I heard was they are bringing out their version of the Key One, and it was going to have 4 gigs of RAM.
Well, maybe it's a Key One.
That was the original rumor.
Maybe it's a BlackBerry Mobile Optimus partnership thing. We also could have to think about that. Maybe the two of them said, "Hey, instead of us both launching devices, let's get together and launch a device together."
I don't know. I thought they just did a deal with Optimus, just like they did a deal with Maraputi.
Yeah, that's what my first impression was when the deals were all first signed. But who knows the logistics of those deals, and who knows if those deals say you can sell here in these XY places and not these places.
Yeah, I don't know. Thurber knows.
Thurber knows, and I doubt there's. If I'm BlackBerry and I'm having these agreements signed, I don't really think there's a region locked to these, agreements, because, again, like I said, it just takes away from the potential sales market that you could be hitting for anybody.
Well, India has certain rules about the manufacture of devices and needing to be, within the country. Made in India is what they're pushing right now.
Yeah.
So now I'm kind of wondering if maybe Optimus, because Optimus is a manufacturer that manufactures for several big name phone companies. Now I'm kind of wondering if they're just not manufacturing in India for TCL.
Yeah, they're
the black one.
Optimus is manufacturing a device and selling it under the BlackBerry Mobile or TCL, brand name. If you think about it, you have all these, say there's 6 license agreements out there, right? We know there's 3, but let's say there's 3 more, 6, right? And they're all by a different company. There's by Joe Schmo's cell phone manufacturer. There's Steve Schmo's cell phone manufacturers, and think of somebody else's name.
Not that they're related.
No, they're completely
Joe Blow.
No
Yeah.
relation.
completely unrelated to each other. But anyways, how do you different? You know, are you going to call all these companies? Okay, this is the BlackBerry XYZ from Joe Schmoes. This is the BlackBerry from Steve Schmo. Here's a BlackBerry from BlackBerry Mobile. Here's one. It gets confusing, right? Why not just throw them all under one name, BlackBerry Mobile, right? And just have them in. Then your phone sales go to you. Your phone sales go to you. Your phone sales go to you.
Yeah, that would make sense too. That would make sense.
You know, BlackBerry Mobile, it's a great name, right? You know, BB Mariputa. I mean, no offense to that company, but you know, it's not the best name to think of, and you know, or the remember.
Well, in our context, sure, but you live in Indonesia, and it makes complete sense.
Yeah, maybe it makes complete sense, but
whereas RIM might be fighting words. I don't know.
Yeah. But BlackBerry Mobile would make it sound a little bit better, and you know where it's coming from. You know, BB Mariputa, do you know what kind of device it's coming from? You know, that's exactly why TCL didn't call the BlackBerry Key 1 from TCL. But I think BlackBerry should just buy all these manufacturing companies and just throw them in-house and go back to making devices in-house now.
Ooh, now there's a stretch.
Hey, they get the manpower back at it.
I think I'll just wait for my Schmo 1. Well, I guess if there was a 64 gig capacity, 4 gig RAM, black Key 1, it might push me over the edge, even though I do love the look of the existing one.
Hey, I have the existing one, and I'm raring to buy the other one. I'm not even buying it because of the enhancements. I'm getting it more because of the color. It's a nice
when you
color.
when you enter the BlackBerry Mobile India Twitter page, it doesn't link you to BlackBerry Mobile website. It's BlackBerry.com. So maybe BlackBerry Mobile India, it's not TCL.
Possibly. I can't even get it to load. It's not letting me refresh the feed.
I'm kind of thinking that they're going to just start calling these devices from BlackBerry Mobile or something like that, because it just makes it easier for everybody.
Yeah, there is a difference between BlackBerry Mobile and BlackBerry Mobile India.
Yeah. Yeah, if you just call it BlackBerry Mobile, insert company or country here, you know, it makes it a little bit easier to kind of differentiate.
And when you check countries. BlackBerry Mobile India, it doesn't look like they relate to TCL.
Does it?
No.
Don't tell us no, mister.
Give us the answers.
Huh. This makes for some exciting watching and listening as we're all searching online.
Well, it sounds really good. It sounds great on the audio podcast. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Why don't we let Wingo talk a little bit about his Key 1 while you guys look and do more research?
Can we not talk about screen protectors this time?
I was going to say, do you want?
I think we hit the screen protectors pretty hard already. Let's move on from that.
Screen protectors are exciting.
Hey, I will say,
yeah,
I've been searching for screen protectors for my Key 1. If any of you have not known, my first Key 1 went through the screen issue. I had the separation screen, which was a fun experience to witness, but got it all resolved and have a healthy Key 1 sit next to me. But ever since that, I figured having a screen protector on the device would kind of benefit or help that situation a little bit more. But I haven't found a good screen protector yet, and I've been searching Amazon and everywhere. I even took it to went looking at Best Buy and took it to one of those Zag kiosks in the malls they have. I don't know if they have in the malls near you guys, but they normally can custom fit a screen protector for most devices. They couldn't do it for the Key 1, so I just gave up.
Why couldn't they cut the plastic for the Key 1?
Well, no. So they have I forget what they call their software, or whatever. They have some kind of software that can normally print them out a already pre-cut screen protector for your device. So I did it for the Key, the Passport and the Classic, said, here, you have a screen protector for this device. They went at the computer, punched in the name of the device, and it printed out a pre-cut screen protector for them. And
they just don't have the measurements for the Key One screen.
Yeah, they don't have the Key One screen, and I doubt they're going to get them anytime soon because it's Zag, and they, go for the big guns and not Key One. But yeah, I've been looking for one, just haven't found a decent one. I know Wayno was killing everybody's, making everybody sleep earlier with his screen protector stories, but.
Maybe you should.
I got a
You should have asked them to type in Schmo one. That would have come up.
When I was at my kiosk getting that first vinyl one fit, and he botched it up and threw it in the bin, and he kind of felt guilty about it, and was trying to find something that he had in stock that would fit. And believe it or not, he's actually pulled out an iPhone 7 screen protector, which was about 5mm. Narrower all the way around, and it was a lot longer. And so he thought he'd just trim it up, and he just grabbed the screen protector, grabbed a pair of scissors, just went snip, plastered it on the screen. It had this dirty big angle at the bottom and looked absolutely atrocious. But it was an insult actually fitting an iPhone screen protector to a BlackBerry. It came off quick smart.
But hey,
so Wayno. How's the actual phone working for you?
Well, just before we get into that, just because there's so much information on it, I went ahead and checked it out. The URL UTB Screen Protector is available, so we may be starting a new website. Chief Wayno.
Yeah, put Wayno's picture on there, will you, please?
I'll supply direct, no problem.
That just means you have to get screen protectors for every single device out there and show us all how they work. So have fun.
Yeah, but I'm not going to fit them.
Wayno uses protection. That's better.
Wow.
Okay. So look, I've had the Key One for a week now. Wow. Beautiful device. I love the keyboard. Fingerprint sensor is nice. I do have had the issue with the screen, the fingerprint sensor.
Protector, yeah.
Yeah, it's on the brain now. The fingerprint sensor.
He got a screen protector on top of it and didn't know what to do.
Yeah, now it won't work.
It's a fingerprint protector.
I do have an issue with the fingerprint sensor when it's on charge. It doesn't like unlocking it for some reason. I've usually got to push the space bar, which brings up the lock screen, and then run my finger over the space bar and it'll unlock it. So I don't know what the story is there, whether it's something to do with the daydream mode or whatever it is that
it's
I set it up for when it was
pretty much the same with the DTEC 62. So I think it's an OS/fingerprint sensor thing in general.
I think you need to re-register your finger. When you registered it, you hit it like 10 times. Did you do it all from the same direction? Or did you switch it around?
No, I rotated it. I was talking to a mate about it, and he said, you've just got to roll your finger around the space bar to get it to register, and it didn't like that. It wanted to tap and keep tapping it. So I did my left thumb for holding it one hand. I did the right thumb, and I also did one of my pointer fingers. So I'd set up three different fingerprints in it, and then at times it was a bit temperamental. So I went in, deleted all those fingerprints, and started from scratch. And I found that the left thumb tends to work the best for some reason. So
are you
that's
right-handed?
what I do use. I am right-handed, yeah.
Have you used the fingerprint scanner before?
No, I haven't. And I've probably got no fingerprints on my right thumb anyway, because it's the hand that I do all my work with. And
that's what I was going to say. I know you're very mechanical with your job, and you probably have some pretty jacked up hands, right?
Yeah, look, I tend to wear those surgical gloves now. My hands were getting really bad at one point with all the the grease and the constant scrubbing with hand cleaners, and they dried out my hands and started cracking to the point of bleeding. So for the last couple of years, I've been using the surgical type gloves
What's the hashtag, Erica?
Yeah. Do we need
Hashtag
one?
Wango using protection.
Even at work.
That's right.
Even at work, because you just got to be safe all the time.
Yeah.
So yeah,
finger
look, there were
protectors.
a couple of intermittent issues, I suppose, with the fingerprint sensor, but apart from that, most of the time it works quite well.
And Wayno, I think that you registered 2 fingerprints with me before we went live.
Yes, I did. That I did, and they were upside down.
Thank you for that.
It's probably why it wasn't reading.
Yeah. Anyway, carry on. Yeah.
Look, I've had as you all know, I've got 4, soon to be 5 passports. It's the device that I'm addicted to. Can't seem to get off it. I bought the Priv when that came out, and I could never switch over fully to the Priv. I just kept going back to the passports, and I got to say that the key one is, if anything's going to get me off the passport, it's going to be the key one. And so today I've actually swapped SIM cards, so I'm going to try the key one as my main device for the next week or so and see how that goes. I know I need to give it more of an effort and tend to just put the passport aside for the moment, so that because as you know, the keyboards are totally different, and I'm just so used to using the passport now, and the gestures, swiping up to minimise or close apps and that sort of thing. And you get on the key one, and it gets very confusing, and you go to do things that just won't work on an Android like they do on a passport. So I'm going to give the key one a go full time for the next week, and just see how that goes.
I'd say give it 2 weeks. It's going to take you a week just to get past the gestures.
Yeah, look, I'm still having issues with the gestures. I was using it quite a fair bit in the last week, playing around with it. But when it come to doing emails or editing a blog, I would always flick back to the passport, and I've got to try and get out of that habit and give the key one more of a go, and just get used to all the different settings and things like that to really let it sink in. But I think, in all honesty, the Priv couldn't do it, but I think the key one will be the device that'll finally pry the passport out of my hands as the daily driver. I will still carry a passport with me for certain things, but I think the key one is pretty damn close to a near perfect BlackBerry. It's a fantastic device. And the other thing is, with the passport, that was very unique in the keyboard being only a 3-row keyboard. The size of the keyboard was very spaced out. Wasn't a two-handed typer. It was it wasn't a one-handed typer. You needed the 2 hands to fly on that thing, and half physical keyboard, half on-screen keyboard for your symbols and your numbers and things like that. It took me close to 12 months to get used to it fully, and now that it's just ingrained, it's going to take quite a bit. But I think the other reason that sort of made me think about switching to the key one as a permanent, or the daily driver, was it's the style of keyboard that we're going to see a lot more of, and we have in the past. All the keyboards, from past BlackBerries have been the 4-row keyboard, very, very similar layout, basically identical. And the passport was just something totally different. So to be able to get used to that style of keyboard again, I think I really need to go back to that device full time and get used to those keyboards, because that's what we're going to see coming out down the track. I don't think we're ever going to see another passport style of design. I'd love to see one with Android on it. I think it'd be fantastic. But, I think the chances of that are quite unlikely. I think we're going to see this type of this type of device with, this type of keyboard on it. So for that reason is, another reason why I decided to go back to that full time and get used to the typical BlackBerry keyboard rather than the one that's on the passport.
Yeah, I think the the combination of the Passport hardware keyboard and the extension of that keyboard with software for the symbols and whatnot that you were mentioning, Wayno, might be more than anybody wants to, more than anybody wants to bite off and chew to implement on an Android device. That's just a guess on my part. Obviously, the pure software keyboard, like on the DTEX, are one thing. But a 3-row keyboard on an Android plus the software extensions, I don't think they'd do it.
No. And the other thing, while we're talking about the keyboards, scrolling on the keyboard and flick typing on the keyboard, the key one is not quite as good, I don't believe. I think the Passport scrolls a lot better up and down on web pages, on emails and things like that. It seems to scroll quicker, even though you've only got 3 keys to physically scroll on, whereas the key one, you've basically got 4, although I don't think it actually scrolls on the bottom row of keys. It seems to be only on the top 3 rows of keys that it seems to scroll. I could be wrong, but to me, it's kind of reduced the area that you can swipe your thumb over it. So I do find that
my habit on the Passport was to turn it sideways.
Yeah.
And so my swiping on the keyboard would have all the room in the world. And I'm wondering if there's a difference trying that with the key one.
The other thing was the flick typing. With the suggestive words on the Passport was easy. Flick on the left to get the left word, flick on the center to get the center word, and on the right for the right. The key one, sometimes I've got to flick it 2 or 3 times to get it to actually enter the word into the text box. So that's going to take a little bit of getting used to.
I can just say I'm not experiencing that at all. Like, I totally disagree with you on that. I never used the flick typing on the Passport. Yeah, I never used the flick typing on the Passport. I talked about it before because I would end up minimizing my window every time I did it. Because I didn't have enough space, and I don't run into that at all. I really started the flick typing on the Priv because it had that little lip that would stop you from going onto the screen. And now on this, we've got the little navigation bar. So I do flick type, and flick typing was something that I never did on the Passport. I never did. It was just every time I tried, I would end up minimizing windows.
Yeah, well, I think because I got so used to the flick typing on the Passport and not going up far enough to be able to minimize the window, and then coming across to the key one, I think it needs more of a flick to flick the words up onto the screen. And I think that's where the issue is. I think it's just something, getting used to more than anything. I'm slowly getting used to the keyboard as far as typing and the size of the buttons. I'm going all right with that. I'm having an issue with symbols and letters.
You're not used to your Alt key anymore.
No, I'm not used to that. And I'm not used to the position of where they are on the keys as well. So I've got to, sort of pull it back and have a bit of a look to see where the symbols are. So that's going to take a little bit of getting used to. But as far as typing straight out words, I'm not having an issue with that. It's just the symbols, because the Passport was so different in the layout, and like I said, it took me so long to get used to the Passport coming from a Bold 9000, I think it was. I know I had the Z10 and the Z30 in between, but they weren't physical keyboards. So coming from the physical keyboard of the Bolds onto the Passport was just totally different. And it took nearly 12 months because I'm such a slow learner on a keyboard. It took me 12 months to get used to that. And I think it's going to take me close to 12 months to get back to the old style of keyboard again. So, I think that's part of the reason why I need to concentrate more on the key one now, is because I know I'm not going to see another Passport-styled device come out in the future. So, I think that was a one-off, and as good as what it was and such a fantastic device, I just don't think we're going to see anything down those lines again. So it's a matter of getting used to the typical BlackBerry keyboard again, and I'm sure that'll come with time. It's just practice and muscle memory more than anything. Am I putting you to sleep, Roy?
Yeah, a little bit.
I'd just like to thank, on behalf of everyone watching, I'd like to thank both Wayno and Brad for their flicking opinions.
Well,
Click off, Dave.
Since the other bracket opinion, I do notice sometimes I'm not really big on flicking with when I'm typing. I'm more just a type out the word and not worry about the autocorrects or the flicks or anything like that. But when I am scrolling through things with the keyboard, I do notice sometimes it's not as doesn't catch my scrolls as quickly or as accurately as like the Passport did, or even the Priv. The Priv picked it up a little bit better. It seems like than the key one. It's not too big of an issue where I notice it every day, but I do notice it. And like for instance, I was one of my coworkers today saw my key one sitting at my desk and I'm like, oh, what's that? And I was showing him and I was doing the scroll stuff with it and I went to scroll and nothing happened.
It didn't scroll, yeah.
So I'm like, oh, of course it's not going to do anything when I'm trying to show it off to somebody who doesn't believe there's BlackBerry devices out there. But right. I quickly did another attempt and it went right away. So I think you have to kind of put a little bit more pressure to it. You can't just like hover over the keyboard and just flick. You have to kind of put a little bit more pressure to it so that the sensors underneath can see it. Where with the Passport, I don't think that was the case. You could hover over the keyboard a little bit more and it would pick up a lot better.
Yeah, definitely. That's one thing I've noticed as well. So, and I think it's just come down to a software issue with some. I think it was some web pages or something like that. Might have been in Twitter at some point. It wouldn't scroll on the keyboard at all. I'd have to scroll on the screen, which kind of got a little bit annoying. The Passport was brilliant at scrolling, in my opinion, and never had an issue with it. But look, apart from those little, and they're only minor, I think it's just a matter of getting used to everything again. It's totally different. But it's a fantastic looking device. It does everything I want it to do. It's just so I'm really, really keen to see how it pans out over the next week or two, and whether I can actually stick to it or whether it's going to frustrate me to the point of having to go back to the Passport.
What's your battery life been, or have you had a chance to kind of really see that yet?
Well, my battery life's been insane because, like I said, it hasn't been the daily driver. It's but I've been getting, I've been sort of leaving it 2 days, so I'll pull it off one morning, and then that's what she said, and then I will, the day after in the evening, it'll be at 30-40%. So it's getting 2 days easily, and probably could stretch it to a third, and that's with about 6 hours of screen on time. So it's quite good. And one thing I did notice with the Passport, the battery, and look, I hammer that thing. The battery's only lasting sort of half a day now, where it used to kind of last pretty much all day. So it'll be interesting to see using the Key One all day, every day, what sort of use. I can't see it being a problem getting a full day and then some. Like 6 hours of screen on time's a fair whack. And like I said, I'm getting 2 days out of that, about 30-40% left. So it's so far, yeah, it's pretty insane. I know the Priv, because I compare it to the Priv. The Priv was being used, along the similar lines, where it was the secondary device and the play device, and that would need charging every day without doubt. Whereas the Key One's gone 2 days and still had 30-40% left.
Yeah, to me, it's kind of hard to compare this device to the Priv because I look at the Priv like I don't know if you guys are familiar with the older Android devices, but the HTC Hero, for instance, like the very early school Android devices, you can't really compare the current generation Android devices to the older devices because they weren't really, they weren't anywhere near to what they are right now. But the Priv was kind of BlackBerry's first attempt at an Android device. It was a good device, but it had a lot of its flaws to it, right? So the key one is that what the Priv should have been when it first launched. But to me, sometimes it's hard to compare the Priv to the Key One now because I look at my Priv. I love the Priv screen size and the overall the concept of the slide out keyboard. But after that, I can't really say why I would go back to my Priv anymore.
Yeah, the Priv, it was a nice device, but I don't know. It seems very fragile, very thin, and I think having the curved screen, there wasn't a hell of a lot of protection to it, and I'd always be worried about dropping it. It doesn't feel as solid as the Key One. I mean, look, there's a lot of reports out there of screens popping off, and I guess that sticks in the back of your mind. And even I don't want to get back to it, but going back to screen protectors, you sort of
I'm
worry.
not going to do it, but here we go. Yeah.
The Gong Show. Gong Show.
Anyway,
it's done. You've been.
Why don't we talk about BBM?
Let's jump back just a ways. I am nearly completely convinced now after going through the BlackBerry Mobile India page and the link to Facebook page. I think that's Optimus. I don't think it has anything to do with TCL.
Yeah,
that's what I said.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I said too.
Yeah, I'm just joining in on you guys. I don't think it's TCL at all.
I just think they're just using that same BlackBerry Mobile name, and because it sounds good and it sticks and it's easier for people to remember. And I'm perfectly fine with using BlackBerry Mobile as everybody's name for devices, and I like it and keep going. But it's gonna be kind of hard.
Keep moving.
It's gonna be kind of hard though. The only thing I can see with that is it seems like BlackBerry Mobile, the way that BlackBerry Mobile is structured right now in TCL, they have BlackBerry Mobile of North America, they have BlackBerry Mobile of Brazil, they have BlackBerry Mobile of, I think it's they have. I don't know if they have it. Is it Europe or they just have all the Europe countries broken up, right? But they have it kind of all those entities already. So now you throw in BlackBerry Mobile India, who's not TCL. So that's kind of the only confusion part that might get in there. People might start thinking that these other entities of BlackBerry Mobile are other companies too and not TCL. But, that's me overthinking it probably. So carry on.
So BBM.
BBM beta update.
I heard that one of the new features is a screen protector.
I heard one of the new features is it crashes Brad's BlackBerry or BBM.
Yeah, I'm gonna try it again this weekend. It did not work well for me. Like it just kept crashing, but at the same time, I know things have to populate, things have to load up, and I wasn't on Wi-Fi, so I don't know because I know that Dave had a lot better luck than I did. Somebody else in our group did too. Wow. It looks amazing though. Like I can't wait for the official to hit and have all the bugs worked out.
I think it looks okay. I guess I should have left
amazing.
It on.
I said amazing.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. I haven't officially gotten the rollout yet. So
yeah, but you always say something's amazing. Well, us Canadians are just like, yeah, it's okay. Anyway, it's a different look. So yeah, it's fresh looking. I wish that you could put some kind of a background in the chat. Some kind of a wallpaper thing.
Well, it's actually got a wallpaper. I mean, it'd be great if you can change it.
Yeah, but that's what makes me think that you might be able to do that in the near future. But we're not able to experience that right now. one suggestion that Robert made when I tried it the first couple times was to delete the chats and the groups that you're in, and then it's sort of seemed to help stabilize the app for me. And so I tried it a third time, did that, and ran it for, I don't know, a day and a half, like yesterday and today. But I noticed a completely annoying thing where you're replying, or somebody else is replying to a statement somebody else made, and the statement that somebody else made is blank, and all you see is the reply. So maybe it was hilarious, or maybe it wasn't funny at all. Maybe somebody's being a jerk. I don't really know, because you all you see is the reply. So you're scrolling back and saying, what the hell is he replying to? I know it's a beta.
So, I mean, how about, talk about what's new and different and good instead of bugs in a beta. Jerk.
The jerk, eh? That's
I think you were the one to bring up the bugs.
Harry,
I was just trying to
start building that wall now. Carry on. I'll help you with the bricks later. I have a trowel.
Troll?
Trowel.
Troll.
They,
With a trowel.
I don't have the beta, but they wrote that they bring customized PIN numbers. They make it free.
Yep. You've got free custom pins coming, animated stickers, which, have you looked at those, Dave? Are they there?
No, I didn't poke my nose in there. One thing in the Discover tab, though, I didn't mean to hijack or derail there, but I noticed there was like 30 things in the Discovery tab now, as opposed to just 8.
It's a bug. You're seeing all the options that
I know.
Regional.
It's just interesting how many things that are there. I realize that I won't get them when it properly rolls out. I know that. So thanks, Captain Obvious. But I was just amazed at the sheer number of options that there are in the Discover tab. So
it wouldn't be if you read UTB. We talk about each one of them when they come out,
But so with those things in the Discovery tab, I know they're region based, but for some of those things, why are they region based? There's some things in there that are pretty cool looking and really cool concepts that just, if you're going to keep them region based, it just doesn't make sense for some of them. Like some of the stuff that Indonesia gets, I could see being popular over here.
Yeah, it's licensing.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, it's licensing partnership with the local companies for the local market. So it's very logical.
Well, that stuff, yeah, I get that, but I don't know.
And the same sort of thing, the same reason why like my Netflix is different than Dave's Netflix. There's some things aren't legal to take
my
across
Netflix
borders
is better.
without bills in place.
My Netflix is better than Dave's Netflix. Apparently.
everybody's Netflix is better than Dave's Netflix. For Dave's Netflix, there's a lot of TV shows that bounce off of walls and they don't get in the door. And it's not good. But we weren't talking about Netflix. We were talking about BBM.
So we hit the custom pins. We hit animated stickers that Dave hasn't tried yet. Because my question is it going to be different stickers? They're not animating the old stickers, right?
Who cares? It gives me something to blog.
Are there animated stickers to play around with yet?
I don't know. That's what you're the one that used the beta more than any of the rest of them.
Obviously, this is debatable. Maybe I should try it again, just so I can do it for you, because that's the kind of guy I am, an agreeable Canadian.
And what else were there? There's they updated not just the UI of the chat, but the UI of sharing videos, which we posted a screenshot in that blog post, just a lot cleaner, a lot fresher looking, a lot more modern looking. I wonder how many other tidbits in there have been updated that, you know, you wouldn't really notice until you got in and started doing stuff.
The press release says group chats were updated too. I mean, I haven't seen it, so can you verify that? The group chats look better? Or?
Group chats, not BBM groups, right?
Well, yeah, group chats, yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe it's not the end of the conversation, but it's not ready for prime time, in my humble opinion. But there are some good-looking improvements, and I should go try it again, and I'll see if I can find some animated stickers.
That's weird for a BBM update. So, I mean, I haven't really beta tested much of the past BBMs, but usually when the BBM or betas roll out, they're pretty good. They're pretty close to prime time.
Yeah,
where they're about a week away from being released. This one seems kind of a little rocky.
Yeah,
to be this early, or this, you know, given it to the beta users this early. It seems like too early for them to be rolling this out.
Yeah, but I think
it's a big
more
update
alpha.
too.
Yeah, it's a big update.
Totally different.
I mean, I guess it's the biggest update we've seen in a few years, but I don't know. It just seems weird that they're rolling out, and there's so many. You know, Brad's had issues with it crashing, and you know, there's some slight issues, but you know, I haven't really heard too many BBM betas crashing in a recent memory.
Well, Dave, I mean, you're on the beta. Did you get a Hub Plus update?
Not in the last day or two, but I think
it's
a week ago I might have got one.
I'm thinking that may be the underlying issue for a lot of the glitches.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I was using BBM from within the hub, or using BBM standalone kind of thing directly with the app, and still that bug with the replies. You only see the replies. You don't see what they're replying to. There's just a big white space there. Didn't matter. And I rebooted the phone, went directly to BBM, still there. Rebooted the phone, do it through the hub, problem still there. So it's in the issues with the app. I don't think it's with the hub or services.
Or a conflict between the two?
I don't think so. That's just my humble observation.
Try disabling the hub and see if BBM works there better.
Where's the garlic? No disabling hub. No.
Oh yeah, that's true, because you can run BBM. Yeah, that's true. You're right. You can run BBM without Hub Plus.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's yeah. It feels more like a beta for two reasons. One is the while it's trying to sync a large group with lots of conversation in it, that seems to make my device freeze, and nothing's ever made that device freeze ever. And so clearing the chats fixes that or helps out. And then you know, the blank spaces with the replies. So those are two major faux pas that shouldn't be let out the door.
Maybe they put an invisible ink feature into the BBM update.
Yeah.
That's where you see the blank spaces.
Yeah, invisible ink. That's a good idea. Yeah. We're the most secure messaging platform because you can't see shit.
You need a lemon to review the message.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Get a special BlackBerry eraser. Secret squirrel.
Called the BlackBerry Storm.
Yeah.
In our chat, we have Rico asking about the custom pins and thinking, wondering if they'll give something to people that are currently paying for the custom pins once they go free. I don't think so. I mean, we're getting exactly the services that we're
Yeah, no.
we're paying for right now. Right now, custom
Yeah.
pins.
They actually will.
are paid
They'll give them a price discount.
Yeah, it's free.
free.
Yeah.
Well,
You know what? Custom pins came out on BB10, right?
yeah. And
custom pins came out on BB10, BBM, and that's completely different from what BBM's doing now. So if consumer BBM on Android and iOS wants to do something else, it's got nothing to do with what we bought before. So yeah, I agree that it crossed over and we're using it on a different device and paying for it. I'm one of those people. But again, this completely different company can do whatever they want. So I got no sour grapes if they will let something for free out that I've been paying for. It doesn't bother me.
Now I wonder if, because BlackBerry still controls the BB10 BBM, right? So what about those folks that are using custom pins over there? Does that make those free? Or do they still charge the
different
money?
company?
No,
yeah,
no, that
different.
I know it's a different company, so that's why I'm wondering what happens there, because that's
I tend to think the subscriptions are universal.
no, they're OS based, because I've had the instance where I've signed up for BBM pins or custom pins on BB10 BBM, and then I'll switch over to Android, and I'll no longer have my custom pin anymore because the subscription stopped on BlackBerry 10 and it never carried over to Google Play.
And then that has changed, because when I initially made my switch, my pin came with me, and
Sometimes
there was a point where I wanted to go cancel my pin, and I had to sign into BlackBerry World online via my computer to cancel it, because I was no longer on BB10 to cancel it.
Yeah, it happens to me. It happened to me a few times where, I'm on BB10 again, and switch over to the Android, and the custom pin doesn't carry over. The payments just can't. Payment either cancels or still charges me, which it's $1. So I'm not really gonna make a big fuss about it, but it would do that. And there's also sometimes where I'll switch back over and my custom pin will stay the same. So there's a mix up there between the two of them, and it kind of evidence of it not carrying over between the two platforms every now and then. So I don't know. It's just gonna be kind of interesting to see what BlackBerry does with the BBM custom pins on BlackBerry 10. Does this mean BlackBerry says go buy an BlackBerry Android device now and use BBM over there and save yourself $1 a month? If you want to, it's $1 a month, so I'm sure no one's going to really gripe about it. But we all know society, someone will gripe about it.
Oh, someone will definitely complain, no matter what.
That's 2 beers a year. Too much.
That's a whole $12.
One thing I think they should do when we're talking about subscriptions is the ad-free subscription. I think it should be free for BlackBerry branded devices, and the 99-cent subscription for all others as a bit of an incentive.
Well, it used to be, and then they changed it somewhere. I don't know where they changed it, because before, when the ads and the BBM, all the BBM subscriptions came out, one of the big things in the beginning was the ad-free portion wasn't going to affect any BlackBerry branded devices.
That was on BB10.
Correct.
Well, it was Hub, like Hub. We don't have advertisements in Hub.
Yeah, but it was
we've
BBM
always had advertisements at BBM.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if you've put Hub on a non-BlackBerry device, there are advertisements. Very, very noticeable advertisements.
Unless you give them $1 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But.
And I guess the reasoning for that is that it's not BlackBerry run now. It's run by Creative Media Works. So they're not part of BlackBerry, and I suppose that's why, or how they're making their money out of it, or a portion of their money out of it is by running the ads. And I didn't find them overly obtrusive, but I did end up subscribing. I think 99 cents is nothing these days, a month, just to get rid of the ads. There's one thing I hate is the ads.
Yeah, I call it AIDS.
You know, I honestly, because I hate advertisements. I hate them. Like some of my favorite apps have those things when you go to, you know, save the photo and it pops up a full screen ad for you to click through before it'll save the photo. I hate stuff like that. The ads on BBM, they honestly don't really bother me. I mean, you got that one line in your feed. And other than that, I mean, I never even really notice them.
Yeah. One thing I have noticed is using the website UTB on the Key One and even the Priv is you see all the ads. But we had the luxury of having the UTB app on BB10, and you didn't have to deal with that. There was no ads on there, but you know, just scrolling through some of the articles on the website, you see a lot of them, and they're not small ads. They're quite big, especially on a Key One screen. It probably takes up a third, probably close to half of the screen when you're scrolling through an article.
Really? I turned off all of the that one company's ads. It was obscene.
Well, these are Google ads. They're all.
Oh, you mean Taboola, or whatever it's called?
I got rid of those. Yeah, because I like, you know, on BlackBerry 10 with the Taboola, you saw 6 ads at the bottom of your page, and then go over to Android, and there's like 22 ads.
Yes.
It's like, what the heck? Where did all these ads come from?
Yeah, that's what sort of drove me to alternatives.
With the subscription stuff, I would like, you know, this is just me nitpicking, but I would like to see some kind of, you know, you can either an option of paying monthly for these subscriptions, or let me just pay once per year or something like that.
I would like that.
You know, let me pay $12, you know, every year instead of make me pay 99 cents, or I don't know. That's just me being picky, but you know, I'd like to see that option in there somehow.
Yeah, and even possibly a discount for the. Even a discount if you're paying, you know, a year in advance. You get it for $10 instead of 12 or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, that guarantees that they get $10 per month from, you know, everybody who's interested in doing that. I'd rather do that than pay, you know, but you know, still, even if it's $12, I mean, even if there's no discount, I'll do it. But, you know,
that's Discus throwing up those big O ads. Do you use Discus Spread?
Nope.
What the heck?
No, mine were Google ads.
I'm looking right now, because I mean, if you're talking about the ad between the article and the comments, I mean, there's one there.
This is halfway in the articles.
Well, maybe on larger articles, because that was a tiny article.
All right.
We'll talk about this offline.
Yeah.
Because you know, I mean, that's the only income we get from the site, and that's a very tiny amount.
Don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, that's little, man.
Come on, man. It's 2/3 of the screen, nearly half the screen. Well, it's more than half.
Move your thumb. I'm sorry, you're unable to scroll. It's hard to scroll with your screen protector on.
That's why it's a good screen protector, man.
No, it's not. It's rubbish. It's rubbish.
Won't even let me use the screen. It protects the screen so much.
Wow, okay, so this is now the 5th time you mentioned screen protectors. Does this mean that we're ready to say goodnight?
Are you guys think anything going on? It looks like Dave already got upset and left.
He heard screen protectors and ran.
There he's back.
Are you guys talking about screen protectors?
Yeah,
I've got a great screen protector story.
I'm seriously about to rage quit, guys.
What did she say?
Rage quit.
Rage quit. Oh, rage quit. That's a good term. Ooh, you have no idea how close I came to launching my Key One across the room right now. I got the whole lever action against the side of my desk and it flipped. I caught it. That's my ninja skills. Okay, so do we have anything else to go over, or is that the end of the night?
That'll do. Let's pull stumps.
Pull stumps.
Sounds
Okay.
good. Yeah. By the way, a little bit of trivia. I heard that the engineer responsible for the, getting the screen attached to the Key One his last name is Popov.
Now it's time to go.
I wish I would have pushed the button 30 seconds ago.
Hey,
Yeah.
that's great, Brad. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, I'll be around. Hopefully I won't be sick. That's why you haven't seen me too much. I've been sick for past, month or so, it seems like. But
Wow, that's pretty good. I've been sick for 60 years.
Stop that.
I said this last night. It's so weird that I usually only get sick twice a year, and this past 2-3 months I've just been sick after sick after sick after sick, and it's can't do a podcast when you're sick. So, but it should be better now.
All right.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye.